Good morning. I hereby call to order the August 21st, 2025 public hearing of the City of Prescott Board of Adjustments. Board members present are myself, Tony Teeters, Rick, present,
Present.
Mary,
Here.
Frederickson, Miriam Hobrick,
Here.
Mark Hoekness.
Present.
We do have sufficient people for a quorum, so it'll take 4 votes to approve or deny any resolution. This is a open public meeting, public hearing, and is being recorded by the city. The proceeds are being televised by representatives of the public media, the public local cable and/or radio station, and may also be rebroadcast. The number of board members present is 5. It will require 4 votes for a majority. Members of the public are required to state their name for the record so that we may know who is speaking and be able to contact them at a later date if necessary. And I'd ask you to please turn off all your electronic devices for the meeting. And we're going to have one adjustment to the agenda. We're going to move the V25012 variance first, and then the V25011 variance to follow that. You're up, Jacob.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the July 17th meeting minutes.
Mr. Chair, Mark Hoekness.
Mark?
I move that the minutes of the July 17th Board of Adjustment be approved as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Mary Frederickson, second.
Any further comment? Okay, those in favor signify by aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
All right. Good morning, Chair, fellow board members. Jacob Lund, Community Planner. Today I will be presenting variance request V25-012 for increased signage at 1106 East Gurley Street for Yavapai Landscaping. So the request before you today is to allow for an increase in the maximum allowed wall-mounted signage from 50 square feet to 162 square feet for 2 roof decal sticker signs that were placed on the building without permits. This is a zoning map showing the location along East Gurley Street, and it's heavily surrounded by business general zoning. It is a highly commercial area. This here we have an aerial imagery map showing the location of the building along Gurley Street as well. To the west, you have Scooter's Coffee, and to the east, you have Street Dreams Car Dealership. This is the site plan provided by the applicant. As you'll see on here, there is a 3x6 monument sign in the bottom corner. This yellow sign here, that is not part of today's proposal. That is existing and not part of what we're reviewing today. However, there is this 4x6 wall-mounted sign that was also existing, and 2 3x27 roof-mounted decal sticker signs, which is what we're looking at today. If this is approved today, the wall-mounted sign that's existing will be removed to allow for the 2 roof decal sticker signs and the existing monument sign. These are photos of the site showing that we did post the property. It does show the existing monument sign and the existing wall-mounted sign that's going to be removed if this is approved. These are photos of the signs in question. As you can see, there are 2 pretty large roof sticker signs here. One is along the roof facing east and a second one on the roof facing west. So you can see them from both sides if you're coming east or west along Gurley Street. Staff did review this per the 6 review criteria for the Land Development Code section 9.13, and we did provide a detailed analysis in the staff report in your agenda packets there. So staff analysis, we did research other records and were unable to find any similar or relevant variances that have been applied for in this area for something similar. Historically, this is not a variance we're used to seeing, but this is the only process we really have for this type of increase in signage. Neighborhood outreach, we did send property notices to property owners within 300 feet of the proposed location. We did post the property and we published a notice in the local paper to meet all the state statute requirements. And that brings us to our recommended action. So recommended action is move to approve or deny V25-012 to allow an increase in the allowed signage from 50 feet to 162 feet for 2 roof decal sticker signs. And that concludes my presentation, and I am available for questions if you have any. And I believe the owner of Yavapai Landscaping is also here if you have questions for them.
Thank you, Jacob. Do we have any questions?
Yes, Chair, thank you. Jacob, since this is coming to us after the fact of installation, is it coming to our attention because somebody in the public or the community immediately around this business complained about it?
Yes, this is stemming from a complaint that went to our zoning enforcement hearing officer for the signs not being permitted, one, and the signs being over the allowable square footage amount.
But whoever submitted that complaint has not complained, or at least through this process of coming before the Board of Adjustment?
No, they have not. We've received no complaints related to this.
Thank you.
If the applicant's here, I'd like to hear from the applicant.
Mary, I appreciate your point. I'm not sure if, like, where it originally initiated from. I think it was zoning, as far as community planning, going by and seeing that, not necessarily a community member pointing that out. Just a few different things, you know, as far as the signage, certainly it is larger than the 50 square feet. It is a decal, though, that's outlined around each individual lettering, so it is quite a bit less than that. The fact that we put that up prior to getting a signage allowance, kind of the gray area of a sticker or a vinyl versus a sign that's backlit with a box and installed and something like that. So we were on the gray area of that, I understand. Mentioning that it's very visible from both sides. It is visible when you're heading out of town, but coming into town, Street Dreams has their overhang over the top of that. Regardless if we were at 25 square feet on that side or the 80 square feet that it is now, it is very difficult to see. And so I did provide those photos from both directions showing that. I would be completely okay with taking that sign off on the end because it is an A-frame. There's not much. You pass it really quickly. That's another point that we brought up as well, is there is a posted speed limit, but it is a very it's a transition area coming off of the highways there, coming into town, so people are going by there very quickly. And we have had quite a few customers that have passed that building. It's like, hey, your Street Dreams, Yavapai, scooters. So they see scooters, but then they pass and need to turn around there. So there's a few other things that we brought up there. I think overall we've really improved that piece of property. It was in an opportunity zone. We've mentioned that or customers have mentioned that when I'm in their home, that, hey, I remember that building, it was a pizza place, or I remember it was a Barry's Pie Pantry. You've really turned that into something nice. And even before we owned it, the auto title loan place was having a real big issue with homeless, and trees and fences coming apart. So we actually helped them, and that's how I even kind of knew about the property and wanted to purchase it at that time. And so we've really improved that. We've landscaped the entire back area. Being that it is close to two hotels or motels, we have quite a bit of police traffic. Smell of marijuana a couple days in a row. When we were doing landscaping, we called police and had an abandoned or gun left in the back. We called police and had them come and pick it up. So we're trying to do what we can to improve that. I know the signage is a little bit different than that, but I guess what I'm asking for is some leniency in that it's certainly not something that I want to tax. I worked for the fire department locally here for about 8 years, and so I don't want to tax public servants like that as far as needing to complain about every little thing. But they're getting called regardless out there. So that's how we provide for our family, is having that signage there and attracting customers to that.
Can you
location.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's
Can
good.
you tell me how long the decal signs have been on the roof?
About a year now.
And has anybody come to you, called, whatever, and complained that the signs were a visual blight on the area?
No, absolutely not.
I have to say I drive that road a lot. And just as far as visual clutter goes, you mentioned the motels, the roadway, the Apache Lodge, and kind of around the corner, the Motel 6 signs, all of those signs, different from a rooftop sign, but nonetheless, to my eye, adds to visual clutter along that route, which is a main route for our city. Your signs up on the roof, given the pitch of the roof, is much less visually intrusive to my view as I drive by. So I'm not surprised you haven't gotten any complaints from people who live in the neighborhoods nearby or the other businesses. I also have to point out the shape of your building, to my view, points towards allowing for this variance, just because it's such an unusual building to keep you confined to the strict interpretation of the code doesn't seem right to me. And I know going past it, those signs don't draw any wrinkle of the brow to me as I go by. So I'm inclined to accept the variance, but I, of course, don't speak for anybody else here. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a roof, and so it's certainly angled up there as opposed to having a 90-degree solid, place to affix signs to. And that roof is corrugated as well, so that signage follows that. So it is a whole lot less noticeable. In fact, on the TV, when we were looking at the A-frame, the 4x4 to be removed, it's very difficult to see that signage from the side there. So appreciate that.
Mr. Chair, Mark Oakness.
Go ahead, Mark.
Jacob, what would be the definition in the city of a billboard?
The definition of a billboard, I would have to look at the land development code. I don't know it off the top of my head, but
Do we allow billboards in the city?
we do not. We have existing billboards that are there prior to the land development code change that are allowed, but new billboards we do not allow.
Would you or the applicant
Hang on, Mark.
For some clarification, billboards are for off-site advertising, not for on-site. So even if we did allow billboards, we wouldn't allow it on this property to advertise for on-site businesses. They were all intended for off-site, but we do not allow new billboards in the city of Prescott.
And just a follow-up question to you, would this signage be of the size of a billboard?
If I could maybe mention that, just the city not having that information in front of them right now. We rent a billboard out in Dewey, and it's a 16-foot tall by 48-foot long structure. So it's not, and when we did the graphics and design for that, we were going corner to corner and trying to maximize everything we could there as far as signage and visual. This is probably the side of the roof, very similar in size to that as far as 16 by 48, but using a very, very, very small portion of that. So I wouldn't consider that a billboard necessarily. I'd love to put up some billboards, but we're going to keep it to.
Yeah, it's just, I've driven by it recently as well, and it caught my eye.
Thank you.
It's large,
Yeah.
and it is the greeting, if you will, or the goodbye to people that come in and out on Gurley Street. I've just got that's huge. I mean, that's huge.
Can you show what it looks like from up the street on scooters?
I don't have a photo of that in my presentation, I don't believe.
Microphone, please.
So that picture that's shown there, Street Dreams really blocks that signage. We didn't feel that it looked, again, to your point, to look attractive, that all the way at the top or all the way at the bottom makes a lot of sense. We wanted to center that on the building there and match it on both sides there.
I got a comment. You did a good job of making it as big as you could.
Appreciate that. I got one point to bring up, Mayor. There wasn't a process, so I'd been to a couple other meetings for the signage here, and when I was waiting to talk or review the signage here, there was some weed complaints and properties in disrepair that were brought up, and I said, what would something like that look like if we were able to provide a day worth of labor with a crew to go out and take care of that for the city at no cost to the city? I know that's this for that type thing, but that was something I was prepared to do prior to coming this far with it, but there wasn't a process for that, and that is something that I was born and raised in the area. We've grown to the point where we can give back, and that's a very clear-cut way to do that, where a lot of these places someone is deceased and the weeds are taken over, and it's taken up time of the council and here to be able to, or
I'm
Board
just
of
going to address
Hearings.
this briefly. We're here on a variance that has very objective criteria. So
There was just no process
we have
for
to
that.
focus on that and not an offer to do additional work.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Is that the end of your presentation? Unless we have more questions.
Yeah, is there any more questions?
I do, but not for you. But to clarify, to pass a variance or deny it, do we need 4 or 3?
You do need 4 because your bylaws require 4. Typically, if you had a quorum of 5, 3 would be a majority, but your bylaws say in all circumstances, there will be a vote of 4, so you need 4.
Thank you.
Any other speakers that we have for this?
No, we do not have any comment cards.
Okay. I would entertain a motion at this time.
Mary Frederickson, I will move to approve variance V 25012.
Do I have a second?
Miriam Hawbrick seconds.
Thank you, Mary. Any further comment? Those in favor of the motion signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed? Nay. The motion carries 4 yay, 1 nay. So it does pass. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay. The next presentation is a request for a variant. Oh, sorry, Tammy Dewitt, Community Planners. Thank you and good morning, Chairman, members of the board. This is a request for a variance for a single-family residence to allow for an increase in the height from the maximum allowed 35 feet to 55 feet. And we measure from natural grade, hence why you are seeing a lot of these requests for construction of a new single-family residence. Similar to others that you're seeing before you, we have, for custom lots, we have a lot of sloped lots left. And that's what we're seeing being developed, and with changes in the fire code for a slope of driveway and such, and because of the amount of fill that's having to be brought in to build up these building pads, you are seeing a lot more of these. So this is in the Hacienda neighborhood. It is a special plan community. These have kind of strict building envelopes due to the slope of these properties. This is an imagery map. We do have an existing residence already here. This is the lot in question. And then we do have a house being built on this lot here. We have not had any variance requests in this section of Hacienda for any of these adjacent lots. Here's a site plan of the property. They do meet all the setback requirements. This is from their preliminary grading that they have, the elevation cross section. As you can see, this is the natural grade line here. This is the finished grade for their pad. They are having to begin about 10 to 15 feet of fill to build up that pad in the back area here. So this is a side elevation of the proposed house. As you see, we have the natural grade line here, and then we have, this is the 35-foot line that would be allowed. And this is showing the red in there is showing the area that goes above the 35 feet from the one side. Then this is looking at it from the rear. That'd be looking out towards the golf course. There is behind them the open space tract that is part of the golf course. So there's no residences behind them that will be impacted by this. And then here's the other south elevation with the same thing showing the 35-foot line and then the area that's encroaching into the above that line. Here's a picture of the property. It is very steep lot. If you've gone out there, this is the other house that's being built right now. That one did meet the 35-foot. It is pushed up a little bit closer to the cul-de-sac, so they didn't have to build it up as much in the back. This was reviewed with all our criteria. These were spelled out. There is a hardship that runs with the land. They do have significant slope. There are no others adjacent to them that have asked for this request, but otherwise it does meet the criteria for a variance. And so we did not find any of the others in that area of Hacienda. Staff sent mailings to all the property owners within 300 feet. We posted the property and published a notice in the paper. We did, since that were included in your packet, have 2 letters of opposition and 2 letters of support. We also did have a letter from the HOA supporting the request and the design of the house. And that concludes my presentation. I'm free to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Do we have any speakers that are wishing to?
The applicant may want to speak and provide more information.
Okay.
But yes, we do have 3 speaker request cards as well.
Should I go first?
Yes.
My name's Larry Evans. I'm the owner of the property that we're speaking about. I want to thank Tammy and Alex for putting this all together for us. We've met with them a few times. We've taken a lot of time and effort in this lot because we found it to be challenging. The street levels is like 5620, and as you go down to the bottom of the property, it's about 65 feet further down the hill. So we came into a variance with the fire department, which was our first issue, that we could only be at 18% grade. And if you take 4 feet off of the street, we drop 9 feet right away. So that presents a problem right off the bat. And then one side of the property is 4 feet higher at the beginning, and it drops off 15 feet on the other side. So the lot slopes quite a bit. So I do want to present this, though, because one of the neighbors complained or sent in to oppose it because he didn't want us to take up his airspace. So can I hand these out? So I made one for each one of you. This is all 3 lots, all 3 houses that are on.
Please wait to explain it until you get back to the microphone. Thank you.
So on the first page. Okay, sorry. Never done this before. So on the first page, you have Fred's house to the east, and he went right up to the road because of the slope. And he did not do a walkout basement, he just did a 1 floor. And then to the left side, which would be Waldo's house, who has complained, the original plan we had the house right on the property line. He is 9 feet, 8 inches from the setback of 9 feet. He didn't build the house, somebody did in '05, and it goes right down the property line. So that kind of, if I built right there, I'm 10 feet, 20 feet from his house. So we angled the house to go more towards the north, which turns out to work out for us view-wise. So that's part of it there. And on the next page, I have, it's amazing what you can get. The elevation, so the street cul-de-sac is 5620. Waldo to the left, which would be the west side, his driveway is 5618. So he's obviously only 2 feet below the grade. And where I'm going to propose, we're at 5612. We tried to put the house at 5610, but the driveway was a 25% slope. So now at 5612, we're at 16%. So we could play 1 foot either way and still be within the fire departments. And then if you go to the back of Waldo's house, it's 5588, and the back of my house will be 5580. So if you take that to the street as 20 feet, or I'm sorry, is 30, what is it? It's 20, it's almost 40 feet from that point to the street. So the actual house of my house above the street will only be 15 feet to 16 feet higher than the street. So I'm 7 feet lower than Waldo's, and I'm about even with the next door neighbor to the east. So on their variance, it kind of sounded like it was going to be 55 feet tall. It really isn't. It's only going to be from the front 22 or 23 feet because it looks like a 1-story. It's the back of the house that drops off. And it's kind of funny, we had it zoned out the other day where they came and plotted the house, and none of the grade of the property is touching the floor. So everything's going to be above the property itself, all the way down. And then I just wanted to show you Waldo's house. He's the last one. And if you look at his was built in 2005, and I don't know all the guidelines there, but he has just the wall retention down there is about 17 feet. Then he has a crawl space of maybe 8 feet. And then he's got 11 feet, and then he's got that. So he's roughly in the 50 foot. So I'm not trying to overpower him. We think our house is only going to be 47 feet tall from that grade when it's finished. So that's basically all I wanted to show you. I have my builder here, I have a neighbor here, and my wife. So if you have questions, shoot.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay. All right, we'll why don't you have a seat? Okay.
First speaker will be Hank Goodman.
I don't think I need to say anything. It's been well presented.
Stephen Childers.
I agree. I think that you guys have enough info. Thank you.
All right, no more requests.
But I put in a written protest.
Okay.
Is that part of the packet that we've received?
Yeah.
Thank you. We've received a copy. Thank you.
We're a
Did you wish to speak to us? We need you to fill out one of the cards so we have you.
No, you have it.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions from the board? I will entertain a motion.
Actually, I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. Thank you. I drove out to the site yesterday, as a matter of fact, and looked at the houses on that cul-de-sac as the applicant has laid it out, the one under construction and the one to the left of this site. And I was quite impressed by the size of the house at 1860 and being up on a rise. It's quite dominant in this cul-de-sac. And the plans that you've presented here, it seems quite lesser than that house, the 1860 house, and consistent with the house that's being built immediately to the right of the applicant's lot. So I understand, that there is the need for the variance because of the drop-off and the measurement from the natural grade. But as far as consistency with the neighborhood goes, it seems quite in keeping with the rest of the houses, if not less than, as far as visual intrusion. Just my comment.
Thank you, Mary. Any further comments? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Mary Frederickson, I'll move to approve variance V25011.
Thank you, Mary. Second?
Miriam Hobbrick, second.
Thank you, Miriam. No further comment. Those in favor of the variance signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries.
And just so a reminder, we do have a meeting next month. We have one item, so just I'll give you a heads up.
Well, with that, nothing further.
Nothing further.
Meeting is adjourned.
Can I say one thing?